weekly vlog number 37. There's really not a whole lot that happened, though I did remember last week after recording the weekly video of last week that you can't really have a 4 gig file on a FAT32 file system, so I had to find a way to cut my weekly video into 2 parts so I could get it on my thumb drive to swap it over. But instead of doing that right away, I actually looked at using my external 2.5-inch hard drive. Just unplug the cable there. And apparently the thing died, which kind of sucks. So I was using it and I was looking at it, I was like, okay, well, I got some files here that I don't need. I don't remember why I put them on here. Let's go and delete these. But that was after trying to transfer stuff over, and trying to transfer that stuff over ended up failing. So I was like, what the fuck's going on? These videos aren't going. So, okay, let's just cancel this transfer. Let's try and delete these. It's deleted. Then I just couldn't do anything. And it would plug it in, unplug it repeatedly, basically. It would give the sound on the computer, and it would constantly install the drivers, so it would try and actually get it to work. And I would go into create a partition to try and actually get it formatted and everything, and it couldn't actually be formatted, so the drive is just dead. And since that is dead, and actually I can open this up here real quick. It's a Western Digital drive here, just a little 750 gig. All I ever used it for was for recording with my AVerMedia. So, try and get this back in there. There we go. Whoops. Because I'm not actually using that hard drive anymore, and since I don't really plan on getting another 2.5-inch hard drive because I record in 60 frames per second now instead of 30 when I actually record games and stuff. Obviously, I gotta wait until I get hardware swapped out on my computer, but when I actually start recording again, I'm just gonna be using Shadowplay, and if that doesn't end up working right, I'll be looking for some external 60 frames per second capture, but Shadowplay hasn't really failed me so far. I had one problem where my computer had a black screen crash and I lost stuff, and I had to use 30 frames per second footage from this thing, which is what was being recorded with that. I was using the USB port on the front of it to record instead of putting the hard drive in the bottom, like right there. Because if you put the hard drive in the bottom, you got to take it out in order to transfer shit, which is retarded. Anyways, since I'm only using 60 frames per second, Shadowplay hasn't really failed for me, except for during that one black screen crash, which was actually caused by the computer itself being mean to me from motherboard issue and everything. Because of that, I'm just going to be not using this thing, and actually unplugging this. It seems like this may have also been getting ready to die or something too, or it doesn't really agree with Nvidia graphics cards or something. I don't know, unless that's also related to the motherboard being all faulty and stuff, because it doesn't seem to actually give the proper power to the graphics card slots. So it's either that it doesn't agree with Nvidia, this thing is dying itself, or it's also related to the motherboard. But it seems that 1080p MP4 stuff no longer actually causes my screen to lose signal for a second and then return, which is kind of nice. And I think that's actually just that this was either dying or it doesn't like Nvidia. I'm not actually sure which one, but I'm pretty sure it's one of those two. And it's also possible that it has to do with the HTCP of Nvidia graphics cards and this thing itself. So it probably doesn't really like Nvidia graphics cards, because I know when something does actually use HTCP, it'll make the screen go black until that area of HTCP is actually gone if you're using a recording device. Unless you use HTCP strippers and remove that HTCP signal, then it won't actually make it go black, because it won't know to actually make it go black. But whatever, either way, I'm not using that thing anymore, so I just unhooked it and everything, and no longer have black screen stuff when I look at 1080p, so that's kind of neat, because that was kind of annoying. That also did not happen with my last computer, and it used AMD, so it's probably something directly related to Nvidia. If I do ever get another capture device, I'm not going to be using AVerMedia though. The design of this one, even though I kind of like it a little, it's extremely annoying. It doesn't actually work with 3.5-inch hard drives or anything, so I can only use a 2.5-inch hard drive. I tried using a 3.5-inch drive and it just wouldn't recognize a drive was plugged into it or anything, even though I was using the USB port, which is kind of, I don't know why they did that. It's a little retarded that they did that, so I had to use the 2.5-inch, and setting it up, it's kind of, it doesn't seem to like actually working right. So whenever you turn it on, you hook up the hard drive, give power to the hard drive and everything, it'll say, oh, there's something wrong with the hard drive, you gotta repair it. So you say, okay, repair it, even though there's really nothing wrong with the hard drive, you have to repair it anyways, so repair the damn thing, and it's like, oh, yay, okay, here we go, it's all repaired, it's working right, there's nothing wrong with it at all. here's all the stuff on the hard drive you can see, and let's see if you can record. Well, the hard drive's fast enough, you can record. Yeah, go ahead. So because I also have an Elgato, just the 30 frames per second, I don't have an HD 60 version yet or at all. I don't know if I'll be getting that in the future or not, but because my Elgato always worked really well, except when my last computer was dying, it seemed to have problems, but that was probably because of my computer itself instead of the actual Elgato having a problem. But because the Elgato has never failed me, I'll probably end up using that in the future. But the problem is that the Elgato, even the HD60, which is the one I would want to get, the Elgato HD60 requires a computer to actually process stuff, and this thing does not. It just takes the HDMI signal and gives a quick little pass through and does all the recording on this with the hard drive connected to it. And the Elgato itself actually processes stuff on your computer, which kind of sucks, but I don't know, if I find a way to do that, or if there's hotkeys or something that actually allow you to record your computer gaming stuff while in game, then that would be a good option, because that doesn't really take a whole lot of system resources anyways, and that would actually be good for an alternative to Shadowplay if Shadowplay doesn't end up working right, but Shadowplay seems to be working fine, so not worried about Shadowplay or anything messing up. And pretty much the other thing that happened, the last thing, my younger brother actually sent me a text saying he was sorry I wasn't able to deal with all the stuff I wanted him to get sold for me, and that he's just been real busy, and so I just responded saying, yeah, it's all right, it's fine. Never said yes for sure, you just said probably, so yay. He responded, I guess, so I just gotta wait a bit until he's not so busy, and then he'll probably try selling it for me, but otherwise I'm just gonna be waiting, and it looks like no big deal. I'll just have to be a little patient. I should be able to get that CPU by the time it's either January or February, so I don't know. It should actually be a pretty easy wait, and yes, you can see a reflection of light on my glasses now because I'm actually looking at Newegg, and I hope these prices remain the same even for when I get the damn processor, the CPU, whatever, because right now it is down to $460 instead of $585, which is a good price reduction that I would like to actually have when I ordered the thing, but I think it's just because they're doing some Black November thing and it just happened to have gotten selected for sales in their Black November stuff, but I don't know. I guess if it's still down there at the end of November, well, next month actually, not just end of November, but next month, if it's like that, then I think it's going to be a pretty good chance that it'll actually stay down there, and hopefully it'll stay down there until January, because if it's down that low in January, then I can get it in January for a greatly reduced price and actually get it possibly a month early, because I think I'll have to get it in February if it doesn't stay at that reduced price. But so far, I don't know. I want to get it for that reduced price. It'd be awesome. And that's actually pretty much it. There's really not a whole lot to happen. So if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know with a comment, like, subscribe, and or a share. And I guess I'll be seeing you guys next week on the next weekly video, if you happen to show up for that. My dog just made a loud noise. And if you aren't there, then maybe I'll see you on another video. Who knows? But until then, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys then.